So they're coming by with like those big brushes and just like putting dirt and soot into the air.
We're walking along the road and we're just like covered in dirt.
Grime in your teeth. Hello everyone, I'm Josh.
And I'm Katie, and we're Fresh Breath.
We're the Band in the Van. This is the Band in the Van podcast. We do 15-minute episodes. I can't talk. Episodes. We do 15-minute episodes every week, and when we're on tour in the van. And this week, the van had some mechanical issues.
We had a breakdown.
Yeah, and so this episode is very driven by that story, and we're going to get to it.
All right, let's get to it.
Band in the Van podcast.
Hello, everyone. It has been a week down here in South Padre.
Yes, it has.
Apparently, we kind of, I don't like to use the word jinx, but we kind of had a little foreshadow, I guess, if you will, with the last episode where we're like, we're out of the van. But it was because it was cold. And this week, it wasn't. We should start the timer.
All right. We're good.
So, I'll tell the story?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll try not to butt in ski.
Hopefully the cutoff counter doesn't have to go at the bottom today. But so anyways, we were pulling out of the grocery store here on South Padre, and the van started perfect, and we just drove out, and we kind of hit a little bit of a bump, and it rocked, and then it just stopped running, and it just would not start. It wasn't getting fuel, and so
we were kind of like sitting in the lane of the road.
We were in the middle of the road.
And the van wasn't starting, and we kind of were like, okay, put the four-ways on, try to start it again, didn't work, and then luckily we were able to kind of put it in reverse and
it was on like a down slope, so I was able to just push it off the road, and then immediately 3 strangers came over, and we were able to push it back into the parking lot. And we sat there and we're like, okay, just like, don't panic. What do? We have CAA, but you don't really want to wait around for that. So luckily enough, we've made a lot of friends down here, and we made a phone call to a friend of ours, Saul, who works at the Laguna Bob. And he's like, let me think, give me 5 minutes. So he calls a couple buddies. One of his friends comes who's very mechanically inclined. He's there 20 minutes after the van goes down. He's up underneath checking things, and he's like, it's the fuel pump. So we're like, okay, that sounds right, because it's not getting fuel. So he's just like, well, where are you going? We're like, well, we live in this thing while we're down here, right? So he's like, well, where can you go? So
yeah, a lot of the parking lots, like, you can't just park overnight
anywhere. No, they'll tow you.
There's certain places we know where to go, and there's certain places that have allowed us to park there, like the Coral Reef. So shout out to Colleen at the Coral Reef. She's like, you can put it there, you can leave it there till April if you need to. We're like, well, hopefully we don't have to. Yeah.
So this friend of a friend, his name is Nick, he gave us a tow strap down the main drag to the Coral Reef parking lot, and we lived at the bar for 2 nights.
I think it was 2 nights.
Yeah, 2 nights.
Luckily the timing was good, I guess, because it was a Saturday, we were off.
Yeah.
And it was about 5 o'clock on a Saturday, though, so no garages were open, and everybody was basically closing up shop at that point.
Yeah, it's island time. Like none of those businesses are open.
And then we had a gig on Sunday, but then after that we had 2 days off, so we're like, okay, we can figure out how to get to the gig on Sunday, then we have a couple days off to deal with this. So Sunday, our friends Brandon and Jewel from the Chrome Wheels, which is a husband and wife band that's down here also.
I'll leave their information in the description. You guys can check them out. They're a great band. They're tons of fun.
They've been also helping us out. He's, one of those guys that can fix, they have an RV and he fixes stuff like that. So we give him a call too, just to pick his ear, and told him what was happening. And he graciously offered to pick us up and take us to our gig at Laguna Bob on Sunday.
They had the day off. So they gave us a ride, and then we got a ride back to the van with all the gear from Saul, who works there, and he was there that night. And then, luckily enough, we told the story on stage. We weren't like dwelling or asking for anything. And so many people on this island are so willing to give. It's insane. Like, people are offering us condos and a place to shower and a place to park. And this couple, Jill and Jim, Jim's a performer as well, and I think Jill sings with them. They're like, we have 3 cars and we have 2 people on this island. They're like, if you need this car, come give us a call. Here's my number. And we're like, oh, I really hope we don't have to do that.
We took her number and everything, but we were like, well, let's just see what happens, because Monday morning we were taking it to the shop and we were gonna hopefully get it fixed, right?
So Monday morning, City Garage, shout out to City Garage and the guys at City Garage. It's right in the middle of the island. These guys were great. They came Monday morning. They towed us back to City Garage for a very minimal fee. And then they diagnosed it, and it was the same thing. It was the fuel pump. So they ordered one in.
Of course, it wasn't available.
It's a year-specific fuel pump, which is a pain in the ass. So what we had to do, we had to wait. It was coming from Indianapolis. And, like, if you've seen where South Padre is compared to Indianapolis, it's not close.
It is not close.
No, so it took till Wednesday for the part to get there, but graciously, those guys allowed us to continue living out of the van.
Yeah.
So we had Monday, Tuesday off, so we were good. We were just kind of stuck in the middle.
We were just on our feet.
We got 45,000 steps in on Katie's step counter in 3 days.
Yeah.
So
we were averaging 15,000 steps a day, because we have Ruby too. So it's like, well, we got to do something. We got to get out of their way, right?
Yeah.
So, and we managed. We did fine. I mean, there's lots to do around here, and most places are pet friendly and whatever. We did a lot of walking, went to the beach, and but so
Wednesday comes, the part comes in, and they replace it, and you have to drop the fuel tank out of the van, and because the fuel pump, it's like a unit where the fuel pump, fuel send unit, and filters all in one. It's probably why they only did it for 1 year, because it's a pain. But anyway, so like I'll put in some pictures. We have pictures of the van like up and the toes. And
I was
whatever.
Like sad, but I'm like, I should get content.
Yeah, I know. It's like you want to keep people informed and whatever. The van gives you content when you don't have it, right?
Yeah.
So Wednesday comes, the part comes, they put it in, but for some reason it's still not working. And we're like, shit. So we take up our new friend's offer of getting their car. I'll put a picture of it in here.
Yeah.
And it is a tiny little hatchback. I don't think we got a shot of all the gear in it.
No, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that in too, because it's bananas. Like, it's just stuffed to the gills, but it got us to the gig on Wednesday. Then I'm just going to tell you the whole story. So, and then on Thursday morning, they're like, we got it. It was just something weird. I don't know. They had connections that just needed to be made, and we're like, oh, okay. So
they thought there was a module that would be like needing to be replaced, but then when they checked it, it was working. So
we went to pick it up Thursday morning, and so from this point on, we've been dead in the water since Saturday. So it's almost been a full week. And we go there Monday morning. We're like excited, but like nervous excited, because I'm like, I just feel like that's kind of weird. So anyways, we start the van, starts fine, but there's a check engine light on, and I'm like, well, I don't want to drive away with that. So I get them to come clear that code before we leave, and it won't start anymore.
It went from running to they cleared the code, and then
it wouldn't running, and it wouldn't start. It would start up and then die.
So we were like, whoa, that's not good.
Yeah. So I did like a crazy deep dive into YouTube, and like it sounded like it was a ground fault issue. I'm not a mechanic. They're the professionals, and they spent all day Thursday just trying to figure it out. And they found out that it was a bad ground from the battery to the chassis. I don't know how it didn't affect anything else. I don't know. But that was the problem. And he got under, and he's like, oh, look at this thing. And it's like a braided cable, that's the ground wire. And it was broke off. So like it wasn't holding on at all. So it wasn't getting any voltage to the fuel pump. So the unfortunate part is, I think we bought a fuel pump that we didn't really need, but new parts in the van is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
And they hooked us up. They did all the work, and they were just like, get out of here. Like, we're so happy you guys are back on the road.
Yeah.
So we were able to go to our gig last night at Upper Deck in the van.
Yeah.
We're back at our favorite spot, Andy Bowie Park.
Yes.
Hanging out, the dogs outside hunting in the grass, and we are safe.
We're feeling relieved, but also a little bit on edge just about every time we start the van, Josh has got
the
nerves running through.
Well, that's just it. Like for the next probably week, I'll be like, okay, hopefully it starts. But I'm pretty sure we've got to the bottom of it. I'm going to touch wood and we'll knock on some wood here.
We're just like, we can't help but see all the silver linings in the situation. Like it could have happened on our drive down here. It could have happened in some city or town that we didn't know anybody.
Or in the middle of nowhere where there's no cell service.
It could have happened on the bridge, which would be a nightmare because there's nowhere to pull over and it's very busy. There's so many places it could have happened that would have been
the community
way worse.
Is so friendly, and I just feel like we knew that we had like friends on the island, but it really solidified the friends that we have on the island, and it brought us closer to many more people throughout this. So like we've been looking at the positive the whole time.
For sure, yeah.
Because even just where we broke down, it was across the street from City Garage. Yeah. So and like there was 3 men that came and helped us push it out of the road, and then they were all like, everybody brings their cars to City Garage. They're great.
And just to have that like local insight too, like where to go, and like obviously everybody has their preferences or whatever, and people have like personal people that they use, and that's cool. But like
comfort level with their mechanic.
We just really wanted to get it in some professionals' hands and have like I don't know, like a good quality mechanic.
Well, and you're just at a garage. You're not like in somebody's driveway. They're like, oh, we'll get to it when we can. Or
right.
Like,
and that's the other thing. It's like they prioritized us. Like they were crazy busy.
Super busy, which is good. It means that the people are going there, right?
They prioritized us. Like they were working on us every day that they could. And they hustled, and it was great. So we really appreciate them for that.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what to say. It's just,
we've never felt so lost.
Yeah.
It's such a weird feeling to be like, well, what do we do now? Like this, we live here. This is our only vehicle.
Yeah.
And we're, and with the dog and playing gigs still, like we like leaving her in here, but it's like, if it's at a garage, it just felt weird. So we were struggling with
it's a very unorthodox routine
stuff,
that we have, but we have a routine. So it's like when you're not doing that on your day to day, it just feels so weird. And they're redoing all the roads on the main street of South Padre Island right now. So they're coming by with like those big brushes and just like putting dirt and soot into the air.
We're walking along the road and we're just like covered in
grime
dirt
in your teeth. And the van's just never been dirtier, and I'm just because it's like parked right on the main street, and I'm just like, it just like everything was mounting up, and then finally Thursday came.
Yes.
Like at about 3:00.
I think they were happy to see us get out of there too.
Oh, for sure. Well, like the shops don't want you to be around. They want to fix your car and they want to get you out of there.
They left us like outside of the garage so that we could actually use the van still, which was amazing.
It was great. We could get gear in and out and put the dog in here when we needed to. And it's really been, it was a bit of a stressful week, but it's also been a very like connecting week for us. So, that's our week. I feel like we didn't
really want to say anything. We weren't sharing stories about it, and we didn't in real time update anybody because we just didn't really want to worry everybody, and
especially like our parents.
We didn't know what was happening either, so we didn't really have
answers.
So we were like, let's just wait until we get it fixed, and hopefully it'll be fixed in time to talk about it on the podcast and update y'all. But
so it the timing worked out. The like location worked out. Everything for how bad it could have been was not that bad.
And also like I think it was the Sunday night after our gig, or maybe it was the Monday, we again we went out with our friend Saul, who we've been joking with because we keep the last video that we have of us chugging car bombs, he was standing right next to us, but we cropped him out.
We keep cropping him out.
And he's like, you keep cropping us out of your podcast.
Well, I don't want to like incriminate him. Like you're out with us all night. Like,
but so we've been going out and enjoying some time on the island with him and some of his friends, and we had so much fun. It was such a good distraction, and I have some footage of all of those guys and us in a couple different bars and karaokeing, and we've just been trying to like still enjoy the experience and the ride.
Because like you said, like we live in the van anyways, and we continued to live in the van as we were going through this, so it wasn't that much different. It's just you can't get to your shows.
You can't drive to the
next spot. And usually every day we have 4 or 5 different spots we like to hang out at one spot in the morning, go get some groceries, go hang out at another spot.
Go get water, stuff like that. We just couldn't really do that, right? So it just we felt a little bit lost.
Super lost.
But we managed. And
we did. And I don't think, like, I don't know. It's all positive takeaways from this, because it's like, I don't know, just like we keep saying, like, it could have been so much worse, and it just wasn't.
And also, like, I don't know, like, we've really been trying to, not that we're not friendly, but like we've been socializing a lot. We've been making friends, and it's been paying off because we've had these connections, right? Like, if I didn't have Saul's number to call, like, we would have, I'm sure, figured it out.
Got AAA and waited 2 hours. It was just
like such a blessing to have him to help us in that moment.
It's a very karma-driven experience for us, because last year when we were on the island, we didn't really have any issues mechanically or anything, but like we kept coming across people that were like injured, or somebody's car was dead. Like last year, there's this guy came up to me on the beach and had the biggest gash on his wrist. He was trying to move a piece of garbage, like this big thing that washed up on the beach.
It was like,
and he
underneath the sand.
Cut himself like this deep, and it was like really bad.
It was bad.
And we have a whole like first aid kit and alcohol and all that stuff in here because we live in here. So we helped that guy out. We helped this gardener out that had just tried to change the blade on his lawnmower. Almost cut his finger off.
And again,
so we gave that guy
like a first aid kit in the van. So people have been like we've been coming across these things, and Josh has been like almost like a ER around here last year.
Last year. And then there's a lady whose car died, and we tried to help her out and jump her car last year. So I feel like just that karmic energy has come back to us full, and now we have to put it back out.
And like last year too, like we were in the RV park, and we were next to this woman that was by herself, and she wanted to hang Christmas lights. Josh was hanging Christmas lights for her. He was up on a ladder. Like there was a woman here in a trailer. She had a gas leak in her trailer, and she thought it was no big deal. And Josh was like, "Wait, what?
That's a big deal." And her carbon monoxide detector.
So like Josh has been paying it forward on this island.
Well, like, and it's not like you do it expecting anything back, but like this lady's like, "My carbon monoxide detector's been going off," and I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "For how long?" And she's like, "For a while." And then she's like, "What I do is I heat a bowl of water on the propane stove at night so I can stay warm." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So we like ended up getting her a new carbon monoxide detector because the other one was faulty, and that's why it was going off.
Josh was like, "I'm not allowing you to go to bed until this is done."
Yeah, like, no. Well, like imagine we're staying in the same parking lot. If I wake up and I'm like, "Hello, lady," and she doesn't get up, that's bad karma.
Yeah.
So anyways, the alarm has already gone off.
We can't help but think that, since we've been coming down here, we've been trying to have that mindset, and it's been coming back to us. So, and
just everywhere that we go, but
of course.
It just really, the incidents just are very prevalent because you know what was done, and now things that have come back to us. So I think we just have to keep putting it out there. And I guess the message of this podcast is be nice, be kind to people. Who cares what people say on Facebook? Who cares what people say behind your back? Who gives a shit about any of that? People are here to help, and people are very kind everywhere. And
we've experienced that this week, and we're doing good. We're okay. Everything's great.
Yes,
we've had a good week. Otherwise, it's just it's just hard to go through some stuff like that when you're a little bit lost. But we found our way.
Yeah, we did, and we will continue to, and we hope you guys do too.
Okay, see you guys next week.
See ya.